bro, tell me your names and like your hashtags and all that stuff.
Okay.
Hashtag.
Well, I'm Bree, and
I'm Bree too.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And I don't really have a hashtag. My hashtag would be love if I have a
Hey,
hashtag.
mine too.
Yeah.
Alright, sweet.
Yeah. We travel together out of our 99 Chevy Express van. We live very simply. We travel farm to farm in search of knowledge and growth and experience and meeting new people and just so many different levels of living. We travel farm to farm and place to place.
In search of learning more about organic permaculture, and that's why we practice with building our own greenhouse on the roof of the car, so we can have our garden and show people that you can garden anywhere, you know, because that is where we're heading in our society. You know, more concrete is being built and less place in the soil. I mean, even in places where there is a lot of soil, a lot of GMOs are being used instead. So just, you know, really taking advantage of space. Yeah, and it works out, you know, we've been able to harvest a lot and eat off of it, and it's really nice.
So what are you harvesting? How much do you get?
Well, right now we just harvested everything, and we had different types of kale, chard, multiple things of lettuce, tomatoes,
parsley and cilantro.
Yeah.
We have 2 tomato plants up there right now, and we have them trellised along the side, so we can just pick our little sun golds every time we
probably
go
got
up
like
there.
40 tomatoes up there right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And a lot of lettuce is growing, and we just seeded, you know, some more kale and arugula. And it's really good on leafy greens because they have a quick turnaround. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
really.
And how
It's really
did you
nice.
build this, and what gave you the idea? Like, did you guys actually build it yourselves?
We
Like,
did. We had help, and also we were sitting. We met in Hawaii, and we were sitting at breakfast one morning on the farm, and we decided that we wanted to travel, and so we were like, well, we don't want to lose the garden, and so that morning on a back to cereal box, we just were like, let's build a garden car. And 6 months later, we came to the mainland and bought a car and built it. And it worked out. I mean, with a lot of people like really like being skeptical about it because of the weight and, you know, just of whatever, but it's, you know, we've been growing food out of it since March, and we've been traveling all up and down the coast, so through Big Sur where it's windy, and had no problems.
How has it affected your gas mileage and your airflow?
You know, honestly, we don't even look at that because this is our rent, you know, we don't really like pay for anything else, so like just having the garden, like we honestly, it's not even in our minds.
It's just something that we have to pay for, so we don't really
so
think
it's really
too much
like,
into it.
you know, we've never really
And then for the
had
airflow, we made this front plexiglass, or it's maybe not plexiglass, but just this piece of plastic. We made it slanted, so the air, instead of would hit the box, it kind of slants
Kinda goes
over
through.
it, right?
Yeah.
So it's more aerodynamic with that.
And we made it all, the bottom of the garden, we made it slanted so it all goes to the back. So we have a water catchment system that we built. We put a ladder on the back, and then so we catch all the water we use to recycle our nutrients and to recycle water, because out here in California it does not rain.
And it's made of a greenhouse material too, so the UV rays and the sun can still get in. We open it every day so it still breathes and gets all the air for it. So.
And we could go to a climate where it's really, you know, it's colder and it'll still survive because it's completely a greenhouse. And, you know.
Yeah, it's so
fun.
good. Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to ask you the same question on camera that everybody asks me about this.
Okay.
What do you do for money?
Okay, so for money, really it's just every place that we go to, we meet an array of colorful people. And so whatever these people are doing, you know, we'll definitely tell them, hey, you know, I'm new in town. If they're looking for people to work for them, you know, they'll ask, well, are you in need of work? Or we'll always just spread the word, you know, just, hey, we're searching for money, or not searching for money, but just in this time, you know, we could use money. Yes, so.
Could use work.
Yeah, exactly.
And so anything from like weed whacking to gardening to, you know, making gardens or
I've
weeding,
sent off
you know.
emails before. I've been like a little secretary kind of person for somebody.
Yeah.
Just an
Worked
array,
at, you know,
all
just
sorts of jobs. And
wherever.
just letting people know that I'm in search, or also woofing. People need help with that, and so.
Can you, just for the folks that are watching, can you tell us what woofing is? I know what it is, but can you?
Right, so it's, what is the actual?
It's worldwide opportunities on organic farms.
Yes, WWOOF. And so it's just like a work trade. You go to different farms all over the world. It's universal now. And so you go to these farms, and it's different with every farm. You'll work a certain amount of hours, and it's like a work trade. So then you'll trade them for room and board and food, if that.
And knowledge.
Yeah, in knowledge, of course, in knowledge. But it differs on every farm. So some people might not give you food, and some people will just give you a place to stay. But hours will vary weekly, and it's just different for every farm. So they're all over the world, and you just stop farm to farm and do a work trade.
Okay, and one last question for the viewers, whoever they may magically be. So the big question that I get a lot, well, plus I'm traveling by myself, so hey everybody out there, I'm traveling by myself, come and mug me. How do you feel about like safety being on the road?
I feel
absolutely safe.
So do I.
Safe
Like,
We
about
feel
it.
absolutely
Right.
like
I don't think
when we
about
lived
it.
in Big Sur, we would leave our doors open half the night and just park
Yeah.
on the pool. It's like honestly, wherever we're at, we kind of just tune in. I mean, in LA, you know, we locked up,
you
but
tune
like
into it.
yeah.
You
I
feel
never-
what's going
Intuitive.
on. Yeah.
a lot of it has to do with trust. You know, what you put out, you get. So
Totally.
we trust a lot of people and just have good, you know, situational
But
awareness.
a lot of it,
and-
situational awareness
Yeah.
too. Like, we're not blind to the fact that, you know, that there is bad out there or whatever.
Yeah.
But come to a place like Ojai, where we're surrounded by woods, like,
Yeah.
we have the feeling that it's just a great place. Like, we don't
Yeah.
need to lock up.
It's
you know?
funny. I had a friend earlier who was talking, and I've had several people who have been talking about like, oh, there's all these bad people out there that will do bad things, and I was like,
Yeah.
when I
Yeah,
was in
of
my
course.
20s, and I was like, you know, touring with the dead and like whatever, and I wasn't that together myself,
Right.
and I didn't exactly have the most positive energy myself then.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, I ran into those people then.
Exactly.
Now, I swear to you, give me some wood to knock on, and maybe I'm just naive, but I
No
don't
need to
run
knock.
into those people anymore.
No need
I
to knock. It's
literally
just who you
don't.
are.
And I can sniff it out intuitively, and I go to places like Ojai and Sedona, and if I go to LA, it's to visit friends, and then I get out of there as soon as I'm done, you know.
Right.
So and I carry a knife and bear mace just in case, but I've never
We've got
had
2 machetes.
Yeah, we got machetes.
Yeah,
you know,
we're packed,
that's
you
kind
know,
of like
we're
what we
loaded.
do. Yeah,
But
if we ever get a
yeah,
little schedule,
exactly.
you
It's
know.
just an
Yeah.
attraction kind of thing. You
Yeah,
know, you
totally.
attract people mutual to who you are and what you project.
But this life is so
really is.
wonderful. I mean, I'm literally so blessed to have this. I feel so comfortable having a car. I mean, I traveled for a few years just out of my backpack, so having this space is like enough. I mean, we have a fridge and our water, and we cook. We have like a stove we can take outside, you know. And
Yeah.
living in California doesn't rain, so it's really nice that we can be
Yeah.
outside whenever we want and
I
like
envy-
everywhere our front porch.
I'm living in my Yaris, so I'm envying your space.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
realized
yeah.
looked there, I was like, man, she is stuffed, but she's
Yeah, I
doing
know,
it.
she's doing it. You got a kayak.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I have
right.
the boat and the bike. But I also came from, like, my last apartment was, like, big. I had 2 bathrooms, 2 fireplaces, and I was by myself with this, like,
A
$1 million view.
A
Oh my
apartment.
goodness.
What?
And I was like, I have a bathroom that I never even use in my house. Like, it's sort of absurd to me that people have so much space that they're not using, and they have these great big... I mean, I used to live in Texas, and they have these great big, like, McMansions everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just bizarre to me that people need so much space, and there's, you know, I'm sure you're familiar with the tiny house movement and all
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and
We have a
earth
few
ships and
friends
all that
doing that.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And get, you know, the whole idea for this for me initially was getting off the grid and just like not wanting to be part of
Right.
all that anymore.
Right.
So, and yeah, it's like really small, and I don't want to do it forever, but it's kind of like at this point it's like a challenge, like how small can I live?
Right. How simple.
Yeah,
We were
you
just
know.
actually
Sure.
talking about that with our friend who was just here. Just about the amount of clothes that we have, and it's just a tub in the back of our car.
Yeah.
And then just, you know, a few years ago when we were living at an apartment or going back home and visiting family and seeing their closets
Huge.
filled
Yeah.
with so
Oh,
many
that's
clothes
crazy.
that they don't
Yeah.
ever wear, don't ever need, you know.
Yeah.
Like, for 2 women, we have just a tub of clothes that
Yeah.
we share, you know.
Yeah.
And
tub.
it's all we need. We just live very simply. We have 2 plates, 2 spoons, 2 forks, you know, like
Yeah.
we just have what we need, and you don't think about needing anything else
Yeah.
other than what you really
What you really
essentially
need.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
also a point on the money making, we do a lot, we try to like trade a lot, so like work for our food, which is a lot of cost, so really we just have to pay for our gas
Mhm.
Yeah.
and our car insurance, so like, you know, putting out food is a huge expense.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah.
crafts. We make a lot of crafts and then
Yep,
sell them
and
to
sell
people.
them, yeah.
Like Big Sur, we spent time in Big Sur and we just jade hunted. And so, you know, people will buy jade. Most of the time we do just give stuff away.
Yeah.
But work comes when work is needed for us,
Yeah,
honestly. Like,
yeah.
it's a trust, and
Yeah, my friends in Arizona were telling me that a bunch of mushrooms are coming up right now in the area where I usually camp and paddle. And so they're like, you should come back and pick the mushrooms and bring them to the market on Sunday and sell them.
Mushrooms are big too.
Yeah,
People
so
love. I
healing.
love mushrooms.
Yeah, and they're so
Yeah.
healing, for sure.
Yeah.
There's just so many, different ways of
There's
making
ways
money.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, I come from like family in the Midwest that was like, you gotta
Gotta
have a job and
Yeah.
like you can't do what you like for a living. Are you
Right.
crazy? Like so.
You need to be. Yeah.
So it's interesting to be able, and especially to be able to like run into young people like yourselves, to be able to sort of like show people like that
Right.
that this is possible. It's not only possible, but it's like you guys are so happy, right?
Oh,
Oh,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
That's
oh,
all we
look at
need.
this
Meeting
smile.
new people. Yeah.
And like when I've worked jobs, the sort of I don't want to say like miserable making jobs, but I work like jobby jobs, you know.
Right.
And I see all these people that are doing the same, and they're miserable. Like they're not happy.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
Right.
You just don't.
Nothing
have
is
Yeah,
set
you
in
don't-
stone
yeah.
ever.
Right.
You have the choice to choose
Make
anything.
your
Yeah.
own path.
Yeah, make your own path.
Tread lightly though.
Yeah, exactly.
Tread lightly.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, cool. Thank you
Yeah.
guys. I'm gonna shut the camera off. Say goodbye.
Bye,
and say your names
I
one more
love
time.
you, Bree.
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 Oh yeah, and if you
Bree.
want, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram as Crucial Breeze. So
And how do you spell that?
CRUCIAL
Nice.
space BREIS.
Right on.
We're
Crucial
really bad
Breeze.
at keeping up with it, but that's
We're getting
where we
better.
are.
Yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
better.
It's hard to take the time out to do it.
Yeah, I
but
know. We're like,
Yeah, it
man, do we
is.
want to go into Wi-Fi? Nah, let's stay by
Yeah.
the river.
Yeah,
We'll post
exactly.
pictures maybe in a month or two.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, here you go.
Oh, it's okay.
Beautiful.
So, and then I'm gonna spin around and I'm gonna show where. Do you mind if I do like a quick little
Oh,
thing in the van here?
please. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is
So
our comfy bed.
here's the van. And these
bookshelf.
girls are so beautiful and young. And oh, look at the greenhouse all lit up.
Oh yeah.
So awesome! They have a greenhouse on top of their van.
You can see
Yay.
the little shadow of the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Right on. Awesome sauce. All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Choo-choo.